Dr. Langer, is there a treatment for chronic fatigue that can restore a person's vitality, or is it just too varied?
It's both.
Okay.
There are treatments, and it is varied. It's varied by when I approach a person who comes in who tells me they're tired all the time, which is just about everybody. Now, I gotta say this: most people do not come in to see me because they're tired all the time. They come in to see me because they have a gastrointestinal disorder, they have musculoskeletal problems, etc. But when you just scratch below the surface and say, "How's your energy?" invariably they'll say terrible.
All right.
And the reason why they don't come in with fatigue as a chronic complaint is that they've been living with this bone-chilling fatigue for such a long period of time that they feel no one wants to hear it. They've already been blown off very often by family doctors who say it's all in your head, and you know, and they feel like hypochondriacs just bringing it up.
Well, it's such a blanket term. Energy. Oh, my energy's low.
It's really important because some of the worst complaints that people have may not be disease complaints, but they may be subjective complaints that are not readily amenable to having a one-to-one test result. In other words, it may be impossible to get a blood test that correlates with your particular fatigue, but you're tired all the time as well, which means that it becomes a more complex problem that has to be delved into in detail rather than, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am kind of a thing where you get a complete blood count and a chemistry panel and everything is okay and well, you're under too much stress. And if it continues, go see a psychiatrist. It's got to be dealt with, and it's got to be taken apart. And you got to look at a person's lifestyle. You got to look at a number of these different variables. And when you look at them and you dissect them, and you look at them in detail, and we're not talking about rocket science. We're just talking about knowing what you're doing, caring, and spending time. A person's energy can improve dramatically. An incredible part of energy that most people can do unless they're totally incapacitated is exercise.
Right.
And exercise is more and more being recommended for people with chronic fatigue, because you think when you're tired all the time, you're too tired to move,
right.
and yet
it's a catch-22.
It's a catch-22. It really starts feeding on itself. So you're tired and you don't exercise, so your body starts to deteriorate, etc. You got to do something to stop the inertia and at least go out. And I tell people to just walk around the block or walk up and down the block if they can.
That's very well put. Stop the inertia.
The other thing that I recommend that people can do at home, if they, because people live sometimes in climates where they can't go out and walking for whatever reason, you can get these mini trampolines, and you can find these online. There are a number of places that'll sell them for $20 or $30, so they're very, very affordable. And if a person has poor balance, they even sell them with handles, so I mean you don't have to worry about your balance. You don't even have to jump up and down on them. They're smaller than this table. They're about 2 or 3 inches off the ground. They weigh about 1 pound or 2, so anybody can handle them. And then all you have to do is put on a pair of sneakers and walk in place, and you can get a fabulous aerobic workout just by walking on a mini trampoline that you can use in your own home day or night. I have a mini trampoline and I have a treadmill at home, and I can tell you I'm more winded when I walk on the mini trampoline than when I'm on the treadmill. So anybody can do this. Exercise is really important.
You can lift soup cans, right? I mean, you can be in the kitchen and just lift soup cans.
Well, and you don't even have to lift. What I recommend exercise-wise, I mean, just the most basic kind of exercise. If a person walks, whether they walk on a mini trampoline or they walk up and down the block, they're utilizing most of the large muscles from the waist down. If they want to get a little stimulus for the muscles from the waist up, and a person hasn't done any exercise, you can get on your knees and do a half push-up. You don't even have to go all the way down, and by varying the width of your hands, you're actually working different muscle groups. If your arms are far apart and you're doing it, you're working your shoulders. If your hands come close together, you're working your triceps and your biceps. If you put your hands facing one another, you're working out a whole different set of muscles. So just by changing and varying your hands and doing the half push-ups, and you can do 1 or 2 of them and work up to 10, 15 of them, you can develop your upper body. So without any equipment whatsoever, you can start to, anybody really can start to do exercise at home, and that alone, putting everything else aside, will help a person's energy and allow them to live a more productive life.
Thank you, Dr. Langer.
Pleasure.